Hello everyone and welcome to another chess lifestyle training. I believe we are still on 39 minutes. I'm going to update this. I saw that we are up to 23:29, so firmly in FIDE Master territory. But yeah, apologies for the ridiculously late stream. I don't know if I've had like a lot of stress recently or a lot of things on my to-do list, but basically I actually binged my Blitz chess for the first time in a really long time. As you can see, I played 30 Blitz games here, and I was very tempted to keep playing, but then I was like, you know what, you need a break. I actually started playing on my alt account. And it's funny how these things work, right? Like, I was just doing pretty god-awful on my main. And then on my ult, I just, 1-2 drew one on my blitz. I had a good day on my ult, which is interesting. So, I basically decided that, when I've been playing on my main, as you can see, I've very impressively managed to just lose rating every time I've been playing. Despite multiple of these moments, I actually gained 10-15 and then decided to just keep playing. And I think the main reason is just because I haven't had any kind of goal with my chess. Like with the rapid, it was very different. I was really determined to make sure I don't mess up this chance to get to 2500. And for the blitz, it was the opposite, where I've just been playing aimlessly. Good evening. It should even be good night, Josh. It's so late now. Basically, I've been on this low, so I'm deciding that from now on, I'm not playing any 3-0 or any binging of chess. I just look at this. Look at, oh no, you can't see it. I'm not going to be able to show God, we had so many games against each other. I don't even know how to show this. Maybe like this, you can see how many games against this person. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, we played I don't know, 20 games or something against this FM, and I think I finished with 10 and he finished on 9. So I won the match, you could say, but it was just so pointless. We were both playing so badly. So yeah, basically what I've decided that I am going to play 5-0 on my main, where I can actually think. And if I'm in the mood to do any binging or just messing around, then I'll just play on my ult. And I think that's gonna be a lot healthier. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try and make it to 2500. And we're gonna see if this moment here we're gonna start a climb and see how far we get. Yeah, Josh, congrats on getting back to 2000 rapid. I saw the recent growth, so that's excellent. And I thought just before I start my training today, I just wanted to show you this position. So this was really interesting because you can see I had 26 seconds here and my opponent had 1:19. But my king is much more active. And in fact, I'm actually threatening to play bishop here and provoke this push, and then I can just trade and then I should be equal. But he played king d7, and I was just playing very quickly here, and he ends up just giving up these pawns, and I guess trying to flag me. Now, of course, this is risky because, black has the slight disadvantage, right? I've got the pawns on light squares with a dark squared bishop, and he's got the pawns on dark squares. So can anyone tell me what black should do in order to secure the draw? Yeah, manage a few decent games. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you came back, and yeah, I think having a goal really helps. Once you're okay, I've had enough of being sub 2000. Time to get your shit together. I think this kind of mindset switch is really useful. But I think for black should basically just set up their bishop on c5 and then maybe just move back and forth from this diagonal and try and flag me, basically. But instead, he was kind of moving his bishop around aimlessly, which is a bit dodgy. And in the end, what ended up happening was we had this trade. And the thing is to actually trade, while my king is still relatively active, this is kind of risky. So actually maybe putting the bishop back and forth on this diagonal is not so good, because if I can provoke a trade, this is risky. And now this is still a draw. But in this position, yeah, now this is a different story, because I've got like more advanced pawns, and I think these pawns are stronger than these pawns because this is more of a weakness than this. Like, it's easier to target. And in this position, it's probably still a draw with king d7. But, okay, he was really trying to flag me now, and probably shouldn't be playing so quickly. And yeah, I guess he wanted to play for the win, right? Thinking that, okay, like, you know, worst case scenario, I run out of time, and then maybe he wins, maybe not. But, okay, he's playing a seasoned bullet player, and we get to this position, and I take both pawns. So now the worst case scenario is a draw. And I want to ask you guys, what would be your strategy here with 3 seconds on the clock? What would you play? So the bishop on a3 to f8 diagonal should stop that, right? There shouldn't be any opportunity for a trade, probably. That might be nice. Welcome, Arjun. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, apologies for the really late stream. But yeah, I just decided to have a evening to myself and just binge some Blitz chess, which could have gone worse, to be fair. I mean, we won a match, a marathon match against an FM, so we'll take it. But yeah, in this position, what would be your strat to try and win? You've got 3 seconds on the clock, no increment. How do you win? So the thing is, if you play king b6 and you push this pawn down like a maniac, this is what's going to happen. And then you'll be and then run out of time, because this is a stalemate, right? And okay, in fairness, this is winning, right? And this ends up working out, but it may not even work out in some cases. Like, I think, you know, if we had this position but it was black's turn to move, this would be a stalemate, right? So the point is that there's like lots of opportunities to stalemate when you advance both of these pawns very far. So actually there's a very nice trick here when you're on 3 seconds to easily win without any risk of stalemate, is you just try and promote the single pawn. And you let the pawn go in front of your king. Now, at first glance, this looks ridiculous, because why would you try and go for this draw, right? But I've probably mentioned this once in a stream before. At the very last second, you don't play king b6, but you push the pawn. And now they have to make a move. Now you get the queen. And now I was playing... Actually, I pre-moved all of this up to here, so I still had 3 seconds. And yeah, I spent a second here, which was very risky. I should have just kept pre-moving, because there's no risk if they ever come back. I'm always going to be able to mate. I guess I was worried about if I pre-moved this, and then maybe he starts running this way and I have to do the whole thing again. But interesting that, yeah, it probably doesn't matter, because now he has to come this way and I can mate. So that's good to know. So I can just pre-move, and then this was a win. So yeah, this was a nice win with when I had, like, you know, much less time than my opponent. Like around here, like 24 seconds to try and win this. 26 to 1 minute 20. But anyway, it is definitely past the 39-minute mark, and I thought for today we will revisit Chess for Neurons, and we will just try and solve all of the hard exercises, kind of as punishment for playing some brain dead chess, just like blitzing these 3-0 games where I'm not learning anything, not understanding anything, just playing for the hell of it, which is nice to do now and then. So I'm not feeling too bad about it. Like, if I was doing this every day, then I'd like really hate myself. But yeah, just on occasion it's okay, but I should really be playing on my alt. Like, to be playing on my main account, this is just like really silly. So yeah, from tomorrow we actually try and get to 2500, no messing about. But okay, let's try and evaluate the position, and then let's find a move. I'm gonna get a banana actually. I'm pretty hungry. Okay, I'll evaluate as I eat. This is gonna be one of those like ASMR streams. If you like the sound of chewing. Right. So in this position, materials equal. It's kind of approaching an endgame, so king safety is probably less of an issue. But in general, yeah, like black's got this bishop shining on his king, so white should be a bit careful in case like the position opens up somehow. And yeah, like structurally speaking, white's got this pass pawn, which is definitely an asset, while black is this backwards pawn, and probably is looking to try and break with d5 to open up the bishop. Now, at very first glance, it's very tempting just to say like knight c3, knight d5, and job done, solution. But you've got to note that this knight is also going to get quite active, and if you ever zap this knight and pawn takes, well then potentially this bishop could get active. I mean, we probably have to calculate because it might, you know, maybe we can zap the knight and then zap the bishop and then they're just left with these terrible pawns. So it's probably going to be quite concrete. But so this is like one candidate move. I guess another candidate move, I mean, they're not threatening to push this now, but maybe they are. Maybe this is a big threat, right? So I was going to say another candidate move just could be just to get on with it, right? Just to push his pawn, but I don't know. Knight c3 probably is good. And if knight e6, knight here, and yeah, I don't think they can jump in immediately because of takes, and we have to be better there. Unless it's a very unusual position where actually the fact that the rook can come to c3, making use of his pawn, this could be like some weird exception. But I don't think this can be worse. Like in that position, where we go here and they come here, we could take, and then just play king d7, rook d7, rook c3, take this pawn, they take this pawn, we take this pawn, they take this pawn, and just push b4. And I think we should be faster in any race. The king is nowhere near. The king is kind of covering these squares. I think we should be winning. Or at least very good chances of winning. So unless we've got a better move than this, I'd be very, very tempted just to go for it. I know I kind of cut corners there. I didn't really look at calculation properly, but just such a tempting move. I mean, let's go for it. Yes. So this move helps with bringing the knight to the outpost. Okay. Yeah, and this isn't so good. Yeah, because of this. Okay, so we actually identified the two candidates. Yeah, and now... Yeah, not allowing black to take advantage of the b-file pin. White's better due to the active piece and pass pawn. Yep. Okay, so that was pretty clear. Let me just check the line I looked at. With Stockfish. Is this anything? So here. I was giving Rook A1. This is like a move I would never play in a million years, but I guess the point is you've got this, and actually your Rook is coming round. That's a very cool line. Does it even work though? Like, check. And here, I would have thought Rook C2 check is something. King A3. So I guess this is just not so necessary. And I was thinking this was winning. I guess, yeah, my assessment was fairly reasonable that I've got the winning chances, right? And then it's a big question whether black can actually somehow stop my pawn. Let me play against Stockfish. I would just push. Ah, and Rook G8. Smart. So then I have to use the king to come up. And now I need to use the rook to defend. So probably then, in this position, before b6. Ah, I can't improve the king because of the rook. So yeah, rook endgames are tricky. Not so clear at all. Maybe rook d5. Yeah, exactly. Let's use the move to actually just pressure and make sure that my king can support the pawn in time. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, looks good. Okay, let's do the next one. That was actually quite easy. Next. You want to stop black playing e takes d5 and e4 check. Keep the dark square bishop locked. Black can try g5, beyond forced to take. Nice. Okay, you got it, Josh. So let's now try and solve this. So let's again evaluate. Also, guys, just because it came up in the tournament I was coaching at, with, like the junior tournament I was coaching at, what do you guys think is like the coolest chess variant out of all of the variants? Like, which one has like the most creds, would you say? Because it was just funny how like one of my students, he's like top 20 in the world at Racing Kings. And he was just getting memed by his friends, like how nobody cares about Racing Kings. But yeah, top 20 is top 20, you know? So, and he's like memorized like, you know, like 100 moves of theory, different variations or stuff I don't even know. But yeah, I'm just curious, what do you guys think has the most creds? So okay, let's actually solve this. Actually, guys, if any of you watching is interested in getting chess neurons for yourself, I actually have like a promo code that you can put in at checkout that will get you 10% off and also make me a little bit of money as well by using my promo code. So if you guys are actually interested in getting this chess neurons for yourself to solve these positional exercises, then yeah, I'd recommend. recommend getting it. Oh, and the promo code is Chess Lifestyle, all one word, all capital letters. Should probably mention that. Yeah, I'm tired. I actually really don't want to evaluate. Like, it's actually such a chore to get my mind to actually put in the effort. Oh, God. Okay. So let me run this position through. So basically, materials equal. King safety wise, it's actually not so clear to me whose king is less safe. I mean, I think both kings are just very safe because even though the king looks quite exposed here, there's no light squared bishops, there's no queens. The only piece that could potentially worry this king is maybe this knight, if it were to somehow reroute to somewhere useful, but there's not really any kind of like good squares for this knight to like jump into and cause me problems. So for that reason, I don't think either kings are that weak. Pawn materials equal. Pawn structure, yeah, we've got this worse pawn structure, so that's why immediately a move like c5 comes to mind. Also, development-wise, we're behind, but given that, as I said, there's no queens, no light squared bishop to attack these light squares, I don't think the development really matters, actually. I think we're doing fine, even if like these pieces are... And I guess these pieces are kind of slow as well, actually, so maybe I'm not even behind. But in any case, the candidate moves come to mind are c5, knight to f5. If we really want to develop immediately, maybe this is a nice move, right? Because we can always come to b6 and put pressure this way. I mean, maybe if this is like actually more of a weakness that we don't want to just trade off for free, then maybe this could be like a legit plan. Like prevent bishop d2, try and come around this way. But how useful is it really? Like bishop b4, they can always play bishop e3 and then always drop back to f2. And then it's not so easy to like somehow win this, right? And then if we play knight f5 first, they can always play a3 and stop this whole plan. So given that we can't actually win this pawn, it then makes me feel like maybe c5 is just making more sense. c5 also looks nice because if they take, I actually take with check. And the thing is, if the king has to move, then I can even go rook d1 and try and prevent white from developing. So that actually looks pretty cool. So what else can they do instead? Can they just develop? So in that case, it could be worth playing knight f5 with the idea that I prevent this and then go c5. Like maybe we really want to discourage this bishop f2 maneuver. Like if we play c5, I think bishop e3 could be quite annoying. I don't think we want to allow the bishop getting here. If we push c5, bishop e3. An interesting line I'm looking at actually is what if we take? And I was thinking if bishop takes, we could even sack the rook and then play bishop c5, trying to pin this knight. And if rook d1, then like knight f5. And if other rook to d1, then the rook comes to d8. So that looks promising. But then the problem is when we take, we can also take with knight. I don't think we've got something there. Although then we could play bishop c5. How is that going? That also looks pretty good, actually. Like the fact that we can get the bishop there. I mean, c5 definitely feels the most natural. It's just I'm just wondering whether this bishop e3 is like good. c5 bishop e3 takes. Knight takes. Bishop c5 should be good, right? Should be very good. Yep, I want to go c5. Okay, nice. And they even just take, like, that's just a garbage move. Of course, bishop takes c5 is met with bishop e3. So this is me, yeah, rushing too much. I should start with rook d1. And that's the point, because on rook f1, then there's bishop takes c5, and this is really deadly. So rook d1 immediately is just much better. Right, that's good to see. So if bishop e3, well, knight f5 now. Aha, and the point is that, yeah, we don't have time for bishop f2 because this pawn is already hanging, right? Yeah, so I was missing quite a few ideas here, actually. Wait, what? dc5. Wow, and it's just completely winning. Knight f5, what a move. Yeah, I completely overlooked this for some reason. Nice. Did you guys manage to get it? Knight f5 immediately. Ah, a3, knight takes d4, right. Knight f3, rook d3, c5. Knight f5, bishop e3, I'm not sure. Right, so that's the difference, right? Like if you start with knight f5. Wait, what is the difference actually? If you start with knight f5, rook c3. Wow, really clamping down on you playing c5. What a move. And we can't just take for some reason. I guess we can, but it's just like not that special. Because I guess they win c6 actually, right? They can do this. And then this. Oh, although this is actually still good after this. So I guess the idea is they want to just develop first. And actually this is still a threat. Yeah, that's very nice. So yeah, I actually didn't see that white was playing rook c3 soon to stop my c5. Maybe I would have if I had considered my other candidates more. But c5 just felt really right. But I do admit that, yeah, I didn't play it so accurately. Like here, yeah, this knight f5 was really strong. But what other moves? Were my moves so bad? Like, this takes. Yeah, knight has to take. And bishop c5. Wow, I'm actually slightly worse here. It's +1. I thought this pressure was really nice, actually. Knight c6. What is this? And I can't take? And I can't play this? I guess this is really dodgy, actually. Rook c1. Oh, what? Oh, get out of town. Get out of town. They can do this. Holy crap. Wow. Or do they have even more, actually? Rook d1, king e4, rook b4. Oh, this is some very cheeky chess. Just to... I don't even know what that achieves, but yeah, this should be the same. I guess maybe you end up losing this pawn though, so maybe that's the difference. But yeah, the rook's gonna be winning anyway. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, this was tricky. Yeah, didn't see everything here, but c5 at least was right, so that's nice. Okay, let's try and do another one. White to play here. I should actually, like, I don't know, you can, the logo up here, Chess Neurons, it's like off the screen. So I need to somehow make sure everyone knows that this is the website. Like maybe I can just quickly like be like, okay, this is just neurons. Okay. Like I don't want to just do their puzzles and not give them credit for these puzzles. They're really nice. So the reason why chess neurons is cool is like they're like positional chess puzzles, not just purely combinational tactical. So sometimes you get some nice strategic ones as well. Okay, let's evaluate. 3, 4, 7, 4, 7. Okay, so basically materials equal. Black's position is looking very dodgy in the sense that all of these pawns being on light squares and the fact that the position is still quite open, it means that like these dark squares are just super weak. And we've still got a dark squared bishop, so this is quite dangerous. In addition, this bishop has not been traded, so this is just kind of a liability. So in this position, dynamically speaking, this pawn is under pressure. So I kind of want to make sure that this is protected. And my first candidate move was knight e4, because I felt that, yeah, tactically speaking, we are defending the pawn, right? So knight e4 is one way to do it. I guess rook e1 is like a natural, improving, safe move to play. I won't check chat just in case the answer is there. I encourage you guys to give your best shot, best answer. Knight e4 definitely feels extremely natural to me. I mean, knight e4 is the problem that after, let's say, knight f5, are we unable to defend with pawn? I guess we can develop bishop f4 as like a last resort. This looks very nice. Looks very nice. Don't see why this wouldn't be right. Knight e4 feels so natural. But these also don't feel very hard. Like normally the harder puzzles are a lot nicer, unless my ability to find moves has improved since a few months ago, but I doubt it's improved that much. But knight e4 just looks really good. I don't see any drawbacks whatsoever. Yeah, this completely fulfills everything I would hope to achieve in this position, so I want to play it. Wait, if I go knight e4, what if they go f5? If I take en passant, I feel like they could take with the bishop. No, they can't. They can't even take with the bishop. Yeah, this just looks completely good. If knight e4 and d5, we take en passant. Also looks really good, huh? Just up a pawn. Yeah, this is just a completely strong move. Just completely strong move. So king h8, bishop g5, yeah, makes sense. Why not? Yeah, the fact that king h8 is like Stockfish's best move is just tragic, right? Like this position is just so tough. This is an interesting line with f5, ef5, and d5. I didn't consider this actually, because this actually can't be taken, and this is actually a problem. So probably should have seen this move. But yeah, that's a very cute move, because I get out of this, and now this is reinstated, and if they try and take, then I can get out of my own fork here. So queen e2 is a really big move to see. But yeah, I completely overlooked that d5 now is actually a move where I can't take, so it's kind of lucky. But also at the same time, like, my pieces are so developed, like, I've got such good pressure, like, it's very rare that something tactical actually works out from such a bad position. But yeah, still, I should have probably seen it. Knight e4, knight f5, knight f6 check, pawn sack. How does that go? If knight f5, would I sack the pawn here? I feel like it wouldn't. I feel like I'd just play bishop g5. That's my feeling. Yeah, bishop g5 is the move. Yeah, no need to sack a pawn. Like, and keep everything, keep the strong pawn. Because to me, it's like, not only am I sacking a pawn, but I'm also losing control over some of the dark squares, right? So black would be able to play d5. And I don't know if I've got enough on the king side anymore. So I definitely want to like build up if possible. Yeah, probably we go up too much by sacrificing the e5 pawn. Yeah, I agree. Especially when there are good alternatives, right? Like if you're forced to sack it to have some kind of play, then maybe. But yeah, it feels very unnecessary. Let's do one more. Let's do one final one. I also told Ankit that yeah, I wouldn't stream like all the puzzles on the stream because yeah, then that's kind of unfair for people paying for the service. So we had a chat about it, and yeah, he's quite happy for me to like stream a few puzzles, but not more than 4. That was kind of like our kind of unspoken limit, at least how I understood it. So let's make this the last one, and then maybe we'll do something else. Okay. Okay, so this is quite interesting. It's king and 4 against king and 4. We have the more active king, that's also supporting our passed pawn. But perhaps these two pawns are actually weaker and easier for this black rook to target than this structure, because this is very easy to target. But then actually all of these pawns are kind of like on different ranks, whereas these pawns are on the same rank. So it means that like if black can chop this pawn, then they can chop this pawn, and they drop really fast. So yeah, that's my feeling. Even though the king is normally should be supporting the pawn, it does feel like black is actually in quite a decent position to limit white's activity with this. So as well, in rook endgames, it's very important to remember the most important aspect of rook endgames is your rook's activity. This is more important than even the king activity, which I didn't know at some point, but I kind of learned this like maybe a year or 2 ago, that the rook is actually more important than the king in a rook endgame, which makes complete sense, right? Like the rook is so much more powerful. So in this position, my instinct would be to play rook b3, because if our rook's not going to be active and doing stuff, then we're just going to be in trouble. And it definitely makes sense to try and make use of the rook, as well as pushing these pawns forward and creating some checkmate fronts when the king goes on the back rank. So this feels like a must-play move, to be honest, especially since black can maybe do something like this if we're not careful. Although black also needs to be careful not to get their rook too offside, where we can start pushing the pawn and then there are no checks from behind. So this would be my instinct. My issue with a move like this would be like we can push the pawn up to here, but then they just block, and it's hard to make progress. Maybe this could be a candidate as well, but it feels like why would I ever try and enter this way when I can enter this way? So rook b3 definitely feels like it's just a good move. For some reason, the puzzles today have been really simple. I don't know why. If this is indeed the answer, maybe I'm completely chatting shit, but it looks good to me. I mean, like, even if they give a check, I just come here. I think that looks fine. I guess they could come here. I could give check. They can come down. I can come up. They can take. I can push, they can take, and yeah, they're just extremely slow. I'd be really surprised. Although here, I don't know if I really want to be in front of a pawn, but maybe I don't have a choice. Like maybe I'd rather like the pawn get higher first. Guess one other candidate move is to push the pawn, right? Like maybe some position where like I can even block and enter this pawn endgame. Pawn endgame feels like it has to be winning. But I also don't know if I should risk that. This is not a bad idea as well. But again, this is kind of the wrong principle, right? Like using the rook to support your passed pawn while the king is trying to hold on. I feel like black will get some counterplay, and black can always block the rook behind the pawn. I don't really know what I'm calculating anymore, but this just definitely feels intuitively right. Feels intuitively right. Yep, we're gonna trust it. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of analysis. So this move helps white in putting pressure on the b7 pawn of black and makes black's rook passive. Right. So g5 is a mistake. This move helps black removing white's king from f5, but unable to put the king on g6 next. So my line went something like this. But I guess the problem here is that maybe they can do this. Rook a1. Interesting. Yeah, and this is the problem, because now I need rook b3 and they take, and we take, we can play king g6, right? So this is like a big difference. For the record, if we enter this, we should be winning, I think. Yeah, so this is winning, but yeah, they don't have to take, right? They can just go back and start picking up this. So this is what we see, right? The black rook getting active and more active than white's rook. So then also, yeah, rook b3 was my move. And then if rook f1, time to shift the king to the queen side. So if king g5, this is actually equal. Right, so I completely messed this up. Right? I can take this pawn, but then these pawns are dropping. Oh, interesting. It gives this. Oh yeah, we can't defend it, right? And then we enter this kind of race where this pawn is going to be very fast. Wow. We even just play rook a6. Why not this? If takes, we push, check. Oh, this looks... Yeah, and the king has to come down here. Right. Yeah. Oh, this is messy. God, I wouldn't want to play this. I wouldn't want to play this at all. Damn. So actually, the king needs to go the other way. King e5. Yeah, and it says king g5. This is a mistake. So king e6, rook b7. Yeah, and we basically just have the line similar line we looked at. Yeah, black gets good counterplay, right. So in this position, you have king e5. Rook e1. Pushes pawn. 4. Takes b7. Right, and this pawn is just faster. Yeah, and the king is very active. How did we manage that? So basically what white ended up doing here was they decided to go to the queen side. And I guess the point is that this pawn will take a couple tempi either way to round up. And in the meantime, actually, once this pawn drops, then the king is very active to win these. I kind of didn't want to go this way because I was afraid that this pawn would drop. But I guess that's the point. We don't care that the pawn drops. We're just going to be winning these, and then this is going to be too powerful. So that's good to see this. So we improve our intuition. Yeah. And once the rook gets passive, then it's really over. Yeah, this is incredible. So actually, how did this start? Right, right, and then... Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yo, Harry, what's up? Wowie, welcome to the stream, and sorry for such a late stream. But yeah, it's been a long day, and we finally binged some Blitz chess, which will be the last binge for some time. I'm going to make sure that I do any binging only on my ult, and we are going to try and climb to 2500 and get back to, you know, playing some really good focused chess. I mean, basically, I have been neglecting everything I said in my most recent video on my top 10 tips to get to 2500 online. And I've literally been neglecting all of it. So I think it's time to stop neglecting it, get back to business, and start this climb again. And on that note, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. It's been a long day, as it has been a lot lately, but yeah, I'll try and stream a bit earlier in the coming days, and yeah, try and be a bit more with it. But okay, we actually got all of these chess neuron puzzles correct. I think this one, it says I was wrong, but I don't remember. Yeah, no, I got this right. I said c5, like but I didn't get it completely right. Like I took this very naively, which was just lazy. Like this is just much better. Yeah, so yeah, good to have tried these exercises. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for the good night wishes, SSS, and yeah, I guess see you tomorrow in the next stream. Adios.